All right, guys, so we are live now on YouTube as well and in the community. Let's talk a little bit about the market. Before I do that, you can see the movement's already going crazy here. I wanted to flip over here to the economic events. This is what I was talking about this morning. If you guys scroll down to the bottom of BotJock here, you can click economic events to always see what is going on. You can see we have, not a lot of crazy movement coming up here, but we do have this one right here at 10 a.m. that's going to definitely move the markets. This is going on for 2 days. You can see here, 10 a.m. again, we have this one. We have existing home sales as well with that. So plus we have crude oil inventory. So the bigger market mover is probably going to be tomorrow, but we also have a big market move today with the with Powell talking. So anytime that guy opens his mouth, I mean the markets just go bananas. If you look at the SPX guys, first let's talk about the SPY. I like to lately review what we traded yesterday. I put a TikTok out because man, we just killed it. If you look at our indicators here, we were already in a short call as of Friday. We did get a retest rejection of this trend line that we were following, so we were kind of watching that. We didn't open the market till here. I had waited to enter this put here until I seen, not only did I see this double top right here, but what I liked about it is we broke down below our trend line and our horizontal support line that we had. We tried to reclaim it, but this reclaim failed, not only off of the trend line, but it failed off of the neckline, right? And so that's when I entered my put and I took that one down there, which was a really, really good trade. From there, we just kind of waited. We did talk about this was a potential double bottom. It didn't really double bottom. It almost looked kind of bear flag-ish, right? So we were kind of tracking this lower one like this. I didn't really like it, so that's why whenever you're tracking a potential bear flag and you see it start to pivot like that, it's not a bear flag, right? So what we looked at here is the indicators did call. We had bullish diversions. Did really, really well waiting all the way till the bottom here, called that 5-0 move. We did get a long call right here, which was absolute phenomenal call. We came down, we retested that support zone. Those of you guys that were trading with me, you guys know, I mean, this thing was green for a while. It goes way back. Literally found support off the support line and took off, right? So just an excellent call play right there. That we did. We did get a short play also here, right towards around 2 o'clock, almost towards the end of the market. And you can see we're opening up at 4:36. So the short call played out well. So our indicators just absolutely did phenomenal yesterday. So just a great trading day, guys. If you're not trading, you're watching this on YouTube or TikTok, just come on in, guys. Come on in and trade with us. We trade options while our ATAs trade the crypto side. So. And options are awesome, man. They're very profitable. So you can have a $1,000 account, right, and earn $200-300 a day pretty easily if you follow along with these indicators. So it's pretty awesome. What I want to look at on the SPY, guys, as you guys know, I'm gonna do this every huddle because I'm waiting for it. So I'm waiting for this one right here to turn red. We talked about this upper line here. This is what I'm following because once that turns red, if you look back the last time it was red and we flipped red, you can see we just had an absolute just tank, right? So I'm waiting for this confirmation. I'm staying put mostly anyways. I did take a put and a call yesterday. I may take a call at times if the indicator says to take the call, but it's I'm gonna have a very tight stop loss on it. Either it goes or it doesn't, right? So, but this is what I'm watching on the daily because last time this broke red, man, we just had such a big fall. You can look back at history and you can see here, right, we were red, we broke red, and you can see from here, the moment we broke red, it fell from like 468 all the way to 449, right? So either way, it was a really great pullback. It also pumped up, and then we still had another really crazy pullback though. So definitely what I'm watching. And at the same time, we're still overbought, right? We're below the 70 mark here, but We're just still so high in the range. So let's go back down to the 1 hour. If you look at the 1 hour, I had called this yesterday that we are forming a head and shoulder here. So it did not surprise me that we bounced here. This is, if you look at my video yesterday, I talked about a pullback would get us a bounce somewhere. I thought we would pull them down to about 434. I didn't think we'd hit this low. We actually hit a little higher than I thought at 435 before we got a little bit of a bounce. The bounce took us all the way up to 438, which doesn't surprise me because that was also the other shoulder, right? So that's why I was okay playing that call, because I had anticipated this shoulder already playing out. If you look at the 1 hour, we did have that strong bearish. We did flip red. And we do have a short call. It looks like I called it on this candle here. Keep in mind the 1 hour when it calls those shorts, right? That can take some time. But if we do get this head and shoulder playing out, right, where we break this neckline, so if we retest 434, 435 during this Fed meeting, right, then I would anticipate a pretty strong pullback. I still think we need to come down and test this 2 hour or 200 EMA on the 1 hour, which is about 425, for us to be extremely bullish north, right? Again, news can trump all TA, right? So if Fed Powell comes out and starts talking extremely bullish and how amazing the economy is, and he, thinks that we're on a right path, and look for the bullish words, right? Then it will hold this support line here, and it'll likely push up to retest this area up in here around 443. So in the historical data of our indicators, that they've crushed these Fed meetings, so I'm going to trust the indicator, and kind of hold off for that long or that short call on the 2 minute, because that's typically what I trade. 5 minute is showing we do have a bearish gap fill that needs to play out. And that's from the push we had here, right? And you can see in the pre-market it's already kind of playing out, so the indicator already killed it, right? As far as that goes. Whether it'll hold in the pre-market and we pump when market opens, that's gonna heavily depend on the anticipation of what he's gonna talk about. So I'm not gonna go into the SPX much. SPX, SPY is doing pretty much the same thing. The VIX is still holding pretty low. We're sitting at 13.81. We had a pump yesterday as high as 14.6, and then we kind of dropped again, right? So it's near this support level that it actually pumped last time. So a pump here off this double bottom would not really surprise me. I haven't talked too much about the dollar, guys, and mostly because it's really just not doing much. It's funny, at the end of the day, everybody thinks, dollar's going to crash, dollar's going to pump, really all it's doing is it's hitting these ranges, right? We actually have a higher low here. So if you notice, we've had our fall, our push north, our fall, push north, fall, push north. It could have another fall, right? We still it would be a stronger move for the Dixie if it pulled back and touched these trend lines like it did here, because then people would be they'd be more willing to buy in, knowing that this was a previous support area, right, which would cause that to pull down and then push back up. But at the end of the range, our upper and our lower range have held really, really strong on the dollar. So just keep an eye on that, on how that goes today. So tech stocks, Apple's down in the pre-market. Apple, man, I'll tell you, it doesn't surprise me with their recent launch of their new product and their earnings reports they had a little bit back. It doesn't surprise me that they're holding so strong, but look at this RSI. Like, oh my gosh, I mean, on the daily, it just does not break the middle. It's craziness. It hasn't broke the middle since March. It's just been an absolute tear. I mean, as much as I'd love to see this continue, guys, I mean, everything needs a pullback. Can it go higher? I mean, sure. I mean, it's broken the all-time highs, like, just consistently. But pre-market's down slightly right now. I would like to see, to be honest with you, some kind of pullback, even if it's like this, right, where you just have a little bit of a pullback. This is 156 down to 144, so like $12 pullback, right? So if we pulled back into like this range, right, 175, 176, like this, and we start to hold support, you're going to want to try to buy that, right? If you look at this, support was also held off of this EMA as well. And so if you are looking to to get that buy opportunity, right? Any kind of pullback into this EMA, that's where you'd want to buy it. You don't really want to buy up here. If you're buying up here, you're chasing FOMO and you're going to get wrecked just like people that up here and then it tanked, right? So you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to buy it, DCA your way through, or hit your stop loss, right? The people that wanted to buy are the ones that want to buy down in this range. So unfortunately, you just got to be patient. There's just so much momentum going through Apple right now. I'm not going to cover through the other ones, but you got Microsoft is slightly down. You got Google slightly down on the pre-market, not much, and Amazon slightly up. So Amazon took a little bit of a hit yesterday at first with this fall, and then it reclaimed pretty well. So let's talk about crypto. So guys, if you recall, I'm gonna go to the 4-hour here, and so my look here, right, was that when we talked about this, where is it? We were like over the last 2 days, and so what we talked about is that we had our fall, our sideways movement, our fall, kind of a rising movement, our fall, and then we reclaimed it. So what I had mentioned yesterday, if you all remember, is that we were in this sideways consolidation movement for some time, right, for a couple of days, and we were holding support on this SMA line on the 4-hour. Now, to me, if you all remember from yesterday, I said that is a very, very bullish move because we are not only holding a consolidation area here, but we're holding it higher than the prior one that we had, right? So this reclaim is really bullish anyways. Then we were holding support, right? Look where the support line is at the prior resistance. That's going to be extremely bullish. And so what we talked about yesterday, which would have been somewhere in here. I think this was Monday that we actually talked about this one mostly. Yeah, because we were in here when we were talking about it, which was Monday. So when I was talking about it Monday, I said we're creating a squeeze on the SMA and the 200 EMA, and which, depending which way it breaks, is going to be the direction that we're going to move in a big way. So it does not surprise me that we moved up. Now, what does surprise me, truth be told, is my anticipation and what I talked about in the room was that we would probably retest this area here around 28.4, 28.3. I think I said my first rejection after this, if we broke this white trend line here, would be somewhere around here, around 28.036. I mean, it did not even stop. Like, it just blew through that. Like, it was not even there. So, the fact that we were moved north does not surprise me whatsoever. That's why I was very patient on my short DCAs with crypto, but with Bitcoin and ETH, more so on ETH. But it definitely outperformed what I even thought it would do, right? So let's talk about where we are now and what to expect. So if you look here, we have this peak here. Just at first look, you can kind of see this correlates into this double peak top here, right? So you have 1, 2, this one didn't quite make it, and this is where we got our last rejection. So this is likely to hold as pretty good support, 29.2. If we do break this, right, then the next stop is going to be this area here, because not only did we fail one time, 2 times, but we failed the 3rd time, and that crashed us down, right, to back to 26.1. So, and keep in mind, this was a push from 27K or so up to 30K, right, before we crashed all the way back down to 26. So very heavy resistance. When we're looking at this, can we go higher than that? Sure. I mean, right, if you look back on the 4-hour, our peak over here was 31K. This would be the level that I would watch to break, because it's not only a 2-peak trend line down like this, but it's also like I said, we have not only these ones here, but you also come over to here and we have resistance here. All right, you have a lot of resistance in here, which is just above that. So if it loses this area during the Fed meeting, right, I'm going to anticipate that it's going to pull back probably in a pretty good way. It doesn't mean that we're going to go down to the floor. All that means is, guys, if you look at the 4-hour, we are in the stratosphere of overbought. You have it still as green, right? So this has not flipped red, but we are just so overbought, it's not even funny. it just, like everything, we need that cool off. I mean, can it go higher? Absolutely. I would suspect that I would watch this line today. If the Fed meeting pushes us north and we push up into like 29.9, 29.8, and then we pull back and we retest 29.2, right? Let's say, because it does this very fast, as you guys know on the crypto side, the Fed could start talking, right? And you push all the way up into here, hit 30K, push all the way back really quickly to 29.2, hold support, and then that's going to just absolutely explode us north, right? But we just never forget, right? We are overbought. So if you're taking longs in this range, you're playing with fire. Set tight stop losses. Personally, I would prefer, if you're looking for some, if you're a bull and you want some more northern push, I would prefer the Fed meeting to come up, drop us down here first, somewhere around 27.2, 27.3 over the next few days. Hold that as support and then explode up, right? Because the problem is that the faster it moves up, the farther it's going to fall, right? And so people are going to get caught and people are going to get wrecked up there. But if you were taking longs back here, right, when we had talked about that support line, right, of the 25.2, you guys know, I mean, oh gosh, it's been like probably 2 months now, I think, I don't even know, but where I've been talking about the gap fill on Bitcoin, and 25.2 was my target. I said that we could potentially go as low as 23, 24. We did get a little lower than 25.2, but 25.2 again was that neckline retest of that inverse head and shoulder that exploded us to 31K in the first place, right? So a retest hold of support here does not surprise me that we're continuing to push up. But again, what are we creating? We're creating another gap fill that has to be filled, because we have a push up. We have really no pullback there, right? There's no gap fill in here. We have another push up, right? So it's likely that either we're going to gap fill here soon, or we might see that third push up, right, before it comes down and gap fills like that. So just kind of play that accordingly. Let's go into ETH real quick. So ETH is a little more clear if y'all remember when I was talking about this Monday. You can kind of see we had our kind of consolidation. We broke down, we came up here, and then one of the things I talked about on ETH is that we reclaimed that same level, right? Didn't create the higher high like Bitcoin did, but we did have this flip, blue. We are still overbought, but one of the things I had talked about is if we can hold this level and we get that squeeze up from this SMA, that we're likely to break this level. If we break this level, then we're going to get a reclaim of this candle. And that's what you see there, right? Is pretty much a reclaim of that candle. So notice ETH is interesting. It's a little more accurate than what Bitcoin was, because if you look at ETH right here we literally, my red line that I've been talking about forever, look how close that came, right? 1838, and we literally got to 1838, 1839 and rejected. The high of the candle is 1839. And we're back down to 1818, right? So, played out just perfectly. Now, from the ATA standpoint, we'll take a look and see which one's DCA'd. Keep in mind, I'm only in the BTC long short, ETH long short, and LTC we did an existing, so we'll see if LTC got out before the pump. Now, we do know that BTC and ETH are stuck in their shorts. BTC, we know DCA'd yesterday, so that one's going to get a little bit more stuck. We'll be very strategic on where we place that third DCA. If y'all remember, purposely I pushed that ETH one way up high because I did not want two pairs to get stuck too bad, right? I'd rather just wait one out if I had to. So let's take a look at that and see how that worked out. Before I touch off on ETH, if you're trading ETH, this red line is everything. If you do not have this red line, if you go, it's kind of a weird one, so you have to screenshot this or something. But the best way to tell you is to take this peak and this peak. So this peak is the fall of the 24th on Monday, and then you have the rise of Sunday the 14th of 2022. And it's kind of a weird one through here, because it's not your normal trend line that you would do or that you would find, but yet it continuously, time after time, even right here, right, it seems to act as really good kind of localized, support or resistance. You can see even here, once it broke it and it could not reclaim it, right, it fell, right? So and then here it was opposite, right? We broke it, it retested it, and then it pumped. So it's been pretty good actually as far as that goes. So if you're looking to draw that's where I'm getting that from. In order to stay bullish on ETH, if you need it to go up a little bit more, 1840 or so has to hold the support, and then the next stop is going to push us up into these upper channels here. Probably, I would say 1900 to 1920 was a really crazy resistance for a long time when we were fighting it all through these levels. So I think it's going to take a lot to break that. You also have, keep in mind, guys, if you follow this I haven't even drawn this one right, it just kind of popped out to me, but if you follow this trend line here, you can see this one right here also lines up with that, which also caused that rejection. So that's a good one to put. And then I would take the lower ones, right? You can probably take this wick here and just pull that down. And you can see that's where we had found our support. And so we kind of had this falling channel, right? So keep in mind, we are a little bit into this channel. So if it breaks this, right, you're going to have that falling channel push north. So it could be pretty big push. I mean, we could get it easily as high as 2K up in this range here again. I don't know that we're going to chase this higher peak quite yet. If we do get a breakout, I would need to see it explode past this 2030 in order for us to hold that. So, but today and tomorrow, news is news, right? Depending on what he says, this could take us all the way back down. It's happened many times before. So, people that say can't happen. It's funny because you could see in this, like if you look at here, we went from 2017 all the way to 1870 in just one candle, right? One day. So it's very, very possible. So let's take a look at the ATAs. I'm a little late on it, but that's okay. We didn't have a lot to cover on it. So let's take a look at LTC first. Short, let's see if that one got out. I haven't even really looked at these, so I hope so, because we had a really crazy pump. Too bad we didn't keep the long going, right? But that's okay. Sweet. So we did get out. We actually got out in good profit too. It made like $20. So we did get out. It did end up having a pullback before it pumped up. So we did not trade that short again, which is awesome. It's kind of cool because we really made a great call on that, because what I like to do sometimes is flip this to a regular one, because we already know we're out, right? And let's see where it would have got stuck. I mean, in a pump like this, it's definitely getting stuck. Yeah, see, look at this. It would have took a short here and it would have got stuck, right? All the way up to there, and we would have to deal with that. So we made a great call stopping the short for sure. Obviously the long would have done really well. 4 days, $236. The long would have killed that. We could have let that one go. Man, look at this one it caught, just absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, so let's see how that goes. I think up in this range, I'm okay. I think starting my short back. I just did not want to do that right where we were. So let's go ahead and start the short back. So I'm going to go 621. What time? Let's do the time. That's what I was looking for. 8:53. So we're just moving this yellow candle over there, is all. All right, so let's get rid of this existing alert. And I'm going to add the alert for the short. Actually, let me make sure. Yeah, okay, so we only have one DCA. Perfect. That's all I want. Because we do have news, right? So it still can get caught. ATA, LTC, short. Perfect. All right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start the long back. Kind of sucks, we missed that part of it, but that's okay. For those who are following, I know there's a lot of people that are trying to get off the copy trade, so I was trying to scale back purposely. So let's get that started again. ATA, LTC, long. Okay. I didn't check the settings, but I don't think I changed anything. Yeah, it's all the same. So I did not have to move my yellow candle because it was already in a sell here. So it's already looking for a buy. So I can just start it up without moving that. So we're good on LTC. Let's take a look at BTC. So the BTC I know is taking a beating on the short. Yeah. So our entry is down 26.2. This last little movement was what got us. I'm not going to add a third DCA unless we get way up in this range here, right? Otherwise, we're just going to wait this one out. The longs have done really well though. Look at this, absolutely killed it. So we are doing extremely well in the longs. Lots of closes here. I'm not going to stop the longs because I do think that we're going to either hold this range in a consolidation or we're going to have a little bit more of an upside. So I'm just going to hold the longs. DCA is still 1, so we'll just be very patient. My goal is, if we do, ideally would be for us to get a pullback, right? And then we get the longs, still taking longs here, and then we get closer to our short, right? Kind of tighten those entries. So, but the beauty is we're still earning while our short is stuck. So, not going to change anything on Bitcoin. Ethereum. So Ethereum, if you remember, look at how close this came to. I mean, it literally hit my DCA mark. This is kind of an example, guys, I've talked about where you want to be aggressive on the DCA, but conservative on the DCA, but sometimes, you get where you're a little too high. This is that case, but I'm kind of okay with that because I did not want a second DCA into ETH too soon because we already did that on Bitcoin and we don't want to get caught on both those. So I'm going to be patient here. Two things are going to happen. Either A, it's going to hit this DCA, or B, we're going to come down. If I believe that we're still starting to bleed downward and I want to throw a second DCA, I'll walk you guys through how to manually do that. But for the time being, we're just going to sit tight on it and we'll let this play out. But ETH, we're still only 1 DCA, so we're not too bad as far as deep on that one. And it's also killing it on the longs. You guys can see this is the longs that it took. So just doing really, really well. 4 days, $142. So awesome on that one. So keep in mind, today is the 21st, guys. So if you are still on BitGet, you're one that's kind of chancing that on the US. You'll know if you got flagged on that, right? Because you're not gonna be able to trade tomorrow. Might even be as soon as later tonight. So just keep an eye on your account. For those who did get the email saying that, hey, you're not supposed to be on BitGet, we talked about this yesterday. You might want to get your funds off of BitGet. So you definitely don't want to get your funds frozen. So good news is, in our community we have options that we can trade. Pun intended, I guess. We are making a shift over to the options and stock side on most of our stuff. We still trade crypto. We still do the signals and all that stuff for crypto. And there's a lot of people, if you're outside the US and you have the ability to trade on BitGet and do the KYC, right? I mean, this is just a phenomenal product that you should be using because it's just done so well. This is only impactful to the people in the US because you know how Big Brother is. They like to get a piece of their pie, right? So, the SEC's throwing punches everywhere. But if you guys want to know more about it, you guys want to see any other TA, hop in and trade with us. For those in the community, I'll put out that thing, the link for the trading floor. We trade on this Google Meet every single day. I'll put the link out for that in about 15 minutes or so. The SPY's looking pretty weak. We are getting into some support areas, so it's going to be interesting because if it's this low, right, when the meeting starts here at 10, right, and what he says is bearish, right, it's gonna drop pretty good. So my final advice for you guys, if you're trading crypto, if you caught the long, hey, congratulations. If you didn't catch it, I would not be taking longs up here quite yet. Let it cool down. Let these indicators cool down. If you take a long now, you're just chasing profits. I mean, you can see even on the 15-minute, right, we have divergence. You got your push up and you got your push down. So cool down's coming. How far will it go? That's the question of the day, right? But if you are still taking longs up here, then I suggest you set pretty tight stop losses. So because you're playing with fire. So I'll tell you, and we teach this in the room, the worst thing you can do as a trader is to chase the momentum after it's already hit. What you want to do is anticipate the range and the news and things that are coming through to predict that movement north, ride the movement north early, then you're taking your profit. You don't want to be jumping into longs while everybody else is taking profit, because you're going to get caught. You may. It's funny because I get some people that will come back and they'll say, "Well, Nick, I've jumped in on, candles going up all the time, and I win all the time." Congrats, man. I mean, you've gotten either extremely lucky or you're really good at it, right? And that's fine. If you're winning, you're winning. But I'm gonna tell you right now, anybody in crypto knows this. You can win 15 times and have $20,000 that you're like, you're wrong, Nick. I've made 20 grand. But I promise you, the one time that you're wrong, you're gonna lose it all of it. It's all gone. And so I always tell people this that come to me, man, I got liquidated, and I'm like, I try to tell you, right? When you're swinging for the fence and chasing candles, all it takes is one time to catch you and you're out. So appreciate you guys' time in the community. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this off, and I'll see you guys in the room.